Greetings, I'm Tim of Govberg, and welcome to the world of Baume Mercier. Today, I'll be your guide to the Baume Mercier Clifton Club Shelby Cobra 1964 Limited Edition Chronograph reference 10343. We'll review all facets of use, care, and maintenance of your timepiece. Let's start with the fact that this is an automatic winding watch. So should the watch run down, though it winds itself, nevertheless you can manually wind it by turning the crown in its first position flush to the case, 20 to 30 turns clockwise. This will be sufficient to start the beat of the balance. You'll note that constant seconds at 9 o'clock starts to advance. Now at this point, if the watch is correctly set, you can put it on the wrist and it will continue to wind itself through the natural course of action and the rotation of the winding mass on the case back. But should you wish to wind the watch to its maximum rated power reserve of 48 hours, simply continue turning the crown. Due to the bridal style mainspring, which slips to relieve excess tension, you cannot accidentally overwind the watch. Now there are two features that can be used for rapid correction of the watch's time as well as the calendar. The first is known as Stopseconds or hacking. Pull the crown to extremity, and you'll note the constant seconds dial at 9 o'clock halts. Now you can synchronize the watch precisely against a reference time. The best way to do this is to wait for the seconds hand to advance to the index at 60 at the very top, then pull the crown and advance the watch to the next nearest minute against the reference time. When the reference time catches up to the second, push the crown back in. You'll note the seconds hand recommences. Now you've synchronized the watch. There's also a quick set function for the calendar. For the day and the date, first you want to make sure the watch is not within the 8 o'clock p.m. to 3 o'clock a.m. span. That's the period when the watch's automatic changeover is engaged, so you don't want to use the quick set for the calendar during that period because you will damage the watch. So first, make sure you're not within that period, and we will advance specifically to avoid such an eventuality. Now the intermediate position between flush to the case and hacking seconds is where you use the quick set for the calendar. By turning in clockwise and counterclockwise directions, you can rapidly cycle through the day and the date. The watch is a chronograph, which means that you start with the pusher at 2, stop with the pusher at 2, and reset using the pusher at 4. There is a flyback variant in the Clifton Shelby Cobra collection, but take note, this is not that watch, meaning that you start and you stop before you ever reset. Never start and attempt to reset. That'll crash the movement and damage the watch. Always start, stop, and reset in that order exclusively. Now, it's important to note that there are some handling restrictions that you should abide by to protect your watch against water, magnetism, and shock. Let's start with the fact that though this watch is 5 ATM water resistant, or 50 meters, sufficient for surface activity, splashes, and getting caught out in the rain, leather is a porous natural material that is never water resistant. Therefore, put the watch on a textile or rubber strap before taking it into contact with water. Moreover, you have to assist your watch in attaining its rated hermeticity, which is to say, make sure you don't attempt to use the crown. Don't pull it out, don't turn it to wind, don't use it to set, and don't actuate the chronograph while the watch is submerged or while there is water on the case, as any of these activities can bypass the seal and introduce water to the interior of the watch to catastrophic results. Moreover, it's important to note that water resistance is not a static feature of a watch. While mechanical specifications don't change, over time lubricants and seals do age and dry up, meaning Baume Mercier advises having the watch water tested at an authorized Baume Mercier service center at least once every 12 months to ensure that 5 ATM hermeticity is still sustained. Now, it's also important to note that magnetism and shock are perennial threats to fine wristwatches. Magnetism is particularly threatening to a mechanical timepiece. The balance wheel of the watch, featured just beneath the rotor of the caseback, is the beating heart of the timepiece. At its center is a ferrous metal hairspring that can become magnetized. The closures of watches and purses, refrigerator doors, high-powered wiring looms in the home and office, as well as speakers and subwoofers, all of these can magnetize your hairspring, resulting in a watch that keeps erratic time. If you suspect that your watch has become magnetized, take it to an authorized Baume Mercier service center where specialized equipment is available to quickly and easily demagnetize your timepiece. Shock, however, is difficult to remediate, as Concussive activities such as firearms marksmanship, tennis, golf, batting, ATV, motorcycle, or mountain bike use can permanently damage the mechanical movement. Therefore, take the watch off the wrist before commencing any of these concussive violent activities. Your watch will thank you for it. Ultimately, every timepiece requires servicing. A premium timepiece requires a comprehensive service per Baume Mercier every 3 to 5 years. It's best to have the watch checked in addition to hermeticity for cosmetic and chronometric performance when you bring the watch in to have it water tested. Now, should the watch require service, service exclusively with authorized Baume Mercier service centers, as these agencies exclusively have the trained personnel, specialized equipment, and original factory replacement parts to maintain the integrity of your watch as both an instrument and as an investment. Moreover, only these agencies can back all parts as well as labor invested with a Baume Mercier factory service warranty. To learn more about the proper care, usage, and maintenance of this or any Baume Mercier timepiece, call, text, or email our experts at govbergwatches.com.